In today's competitive business landscape, effective human resources management is essential for organizational success. Human resources play a crucial role in any organization. They are responsible for managing the company's most valuable asset, its employees. But how can HR departments ensure efficiency, compliance, and continuous improvement? That's where operational auditing comes into play.
Human resource audit are a vital means of avoiding legal and regulatory liability that may arise from an organization's HR policies and practices. It involves identifying issues and finding solutions to problems before they become unmanageable. Essentially, HR audits offer an opportunity to evaluate successful practices and explore avenues for more efficient operations.
To conduct a thorough operational audit, it is essential to focus on key areas within the HR function. These key areas include: first, employer recruitment and selection. It assesses the effectiveness of recruitment strategies and selection process and ensures compliance with diversity and inclusion standards. Second, employee onboarding. Evaluate the onboarding process for effectiveness and efficiency, and ensure new hires receive necessary training and support. Third, performance management. Review performance appraisal systems and feedback mechanisms, and ensure alignment with organizational objectives. Fourth, employer relations. Assess the handling of employee grievances and conflicts, and ensure compliance with labor laws and company policies. And last is HR information systems. Review the functionality and security of HRIS systems, and ensure data accuracy and accessibility. Let's take a look at an example. Company X, a multinational corporation, conducted an operational audit in their HR department. They identified bottlenecks in their recruitment process, revamped their onboarding program, and implemented a more robust performance management system. As a result, they saw increased employee satisfaction and productivity. In conclusion, operational auditing helps human resources identify and address issues such as improper hiring practices, inadequate training programs, and non-compliance with labor laws. By conducting these audits, HR professionals ensure their department contributes optimally to the organization's success.
Now, let's walk through the key steps involved in conducting an operational audit in human resources. First is planning. Define the scope, objectives, and key areas to be audited. This includes HR policies, recruitment processes, employee onboarding, performance management, and more. Next to planning is data collection. Gather relevant data and documentation related to HR operations. This includes policies, procedures, employee records, training materials, and any other relevant information. Next is evaluation. Assess the effectiveness and efficiency of HR processes against established benchmarks, best practices, and legal requirements. Identify areas of strength and areas that requires improvement. Next to evaluation is reporting. Prepare a comprehensive audit report summarizing the findings, recommendations, and action plans. Communicate the report to relevant stakeholders, including HR managers and organizational leadership. And lastly, implementation. Work collaboratively with HR teams to implement the recommended improvements and monitor progress. This ensures that the audit findings translate into tangible positive changes within the organization. Overall, operational audit in human resources helps an organizations ensure that their HR practices are efficient, effective, and compliant with regulations, ultimately contributing to improve employee satisfaction, productivity, and organizational success. Now, here's a video where the auditor is auditing the HR manager about effective implementation of organization's process for identifying training needs and competency development.
Okay, so I've been through most of the processes in your QMS. I now want to follow up on the process for identifying training needs and developing competencies.
Okay, sure. We have a documented process on that. Here it is.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say the main driver for identifying training needs is the employee appraisal process that we follow.
Yes, I've been told about that. Let me give you some names. Can you show me evidence? How about Bill Hartman?
Bill Hartman?
Yeah, is he working in the calibration lab?
Yep, on my system it tells me that his last review was 2 months ago and his training need identified was related to ISO/IEC 17025 and he attended a course to gain a better understanding of that standard.
Okay, can I see the full record of his appraisal?
I'm really sorry, but that's confidential. I can show you the output from the process, the identification of the training needs, but not the full record, I'm afraid.
Well, that's going to be a problem. I'll call my IATF expert when we finish this audit to find out what to do. The second name I have is Amanda Hurst.
Okay, I will not have an appraisal for her. She works in production and they're not covered in the induction process.
What about identifying her training needs?
So this is done informally with the production department and HR are not involved in that, I'm afraid.
Okay. That's strange. I was told by production to come check with you on the training needs.
Obviously there was some confusion. We have a new production manager and I will sort that out and speak to him.
Okay, we can go to production together and try and resolve this.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's summarise. It is good the auditor is auditing this support process after he had gathered information on other processes related to personnel. Auditors will face a situation where the organisation states that things may be confidential. While auditors must respect the relevant laws on data protection and confidentiality, they also need to see evidence to verify the quality management system is effectively implemented. In this case, it might be okay, as the process owner can show records of identification of training needs. The process seems not to be effective as there is no process to identify training needs for those people working in production. The auditor is right to state they will follow up on this with the process owner.
Normally, in an audit, the support processes will be audited later in the audit after the product realization processes have been audited. This enables effective follow-up of audit trails. Audits needs to respect any requirements related to confidentiality but must also ensure that the organization provides sufficient objective evidence that they comply with all of the relevant requirements. Here's other video where the auditor is auditing the HR manager about the effective implementation of the organization's process for new employee induction.
I see in your QMS that you have a process called recruitment and induction. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, of course. So we have an annual business plan, and in that the resource needs for the year are planned. So in this business plan for the year, we have a target of 15 new positions through external recruitment to fill. So the input of the process is the recruitment need. We then search for suitable candidates, we interview them and make them the job offer.
Okay. How do you define the roles, responsibilities, and authorities?
Good question. So that is the responsibility of the relevant manager to provide me with that information, but the problem is that we don't get the documentation. So for the 15 roles I've received, only 2 of the profiles so far.
Okay, I'm going to follow up on that. Can you explain the induction process to me?
Of course, yes. So we have a one-day induction for all employees that covers basic health and safety, employee code of conduct, etc. Here is actually the induction book.
Thank you. And do you cover anything about the quality policy and IATF 16949?
No, we used to, but now it's done in the relevant department. The issue I have, though, is that the department managers are meant to provide me with a copy of the policy signed by the employee to say that they have read it and that they've understood it, but unfortunately this doesn't happen.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your help. I'm going to follow up on this later.
No problem. Thank you.
So let's summarize. In this video, the auditor did a good job about getting the process owner to give a clear explanation of the process. It sounds from the audit that the process owner is not getting adequate support from the other process owners. The auditor is right to say that they plan to follow up on this during the rest of the audit.
Auditors, as well as auditing processes, should always order effective interaction between processes, and this is often where high risk could affect the overall QMS performance. Now, let's take a look at some of the key benefits of operational auditing in human resources. Efficiency enhancement. By conducting regular audits, HR teams can identify bottlenecks, streamline processes, and eliminate unnecessary tasks. This leads to improved productivity and optimized resource allocation. Compliance assurance. With ever-changing labor laws and regulations, it's crucial for HR departments to stay in line with legal requirements. Operational auditing helps HR teams identify compliance gaps and take corrective actions to mitigate risk. Risk management. Audits help identify potential risks in HR processes, such as data security breaches or employee misconduct. By proactively addressing this risk, HR departments can safeguard the organization's reputation and mitigate potential liabilities. And lastly, cost savings. Through operational auditing, HR teams can identify areas where costs can be reduced or optimized without compromising the quality of HR services. This leads to better financial management and cost savings for the organization. In conclusion, operational audit in human resources is not just a compliance exercise. It is a strategic imperative for organizations looking to optimize efficiency, mitigate risk, and enhance employee satisfaction.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you found it informative and inspiring. Remember, by investing in the optimization of HR processes, organizations can achieve greater success and create a more rewarding workplace for all.